What's up, guys? It's PKS Young Lattery here, and today we're going to be doing the final week of highlights for Bear vs. Bull Pokemon Draft League. We're also going to be going over the wild card matches for people that had to compete basically to earn a playoff spot. So it's going to be a little different. It's going to be very wolf-centric this week. It's going to be a compounded video, and it's going to not be like a game from each div, because honestly most of the playoff implication matches happened amongst the wolf division anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about because it's what mattered. The first game we're going to go over is Lucas versus Dylan. Sorry, it's going to message. Yeah, so first things first, Lucas fought like hell to make it out of this division, so props to him. I know there were some people saying, didn't think he was going to make it, and he pulled through, so congratulations to Lucas for sure. Especially against Dylan here, because Dylan's a really good player. But yeah, I'll make sure I have this muted. Yeah, it's muted. Okay. So, looking at the team preview, right? We have Tapu Lele in the all the way left slot for Lucas, which is always just a nightmare of a Pokemon to switch into. Typing wise, it puts a hurting on Dylan's these three right here, all getting hit by Fairy. And then Zam and Rotom don't exactly like switching into Fairy, like it's just neutral. Tinkaton is the only real saving grace. So, from Dylan's point of view, trying to keep that healthy, pretty big priority. Mamoswine, another Pokemon that's very difficult to switch into in general. He does have Rotom, but Mamo does get like Surprise Freeze Dry. I don't remember if that happens or not, but that is an option for Mamoswine. Corviknight, the best pivoting mon ever. These three together are just fucked up, because you get like the slow pivot god, and then like the Pokemon that nobody like wants to switch into. So that's dangerous as hell. And you have Gouging Fire, which is another scary Pokemon upon setup. And then these two, this is just like an annoying gimmick Pokemon. It is good if you play it right, though. And this is just a fat piece of shit utility Pokemon. From Dylan's perspective, it looks tough, to be honest, because Dragonite has to contend with like Ice Shards and potential IDEF Corviknight and Breaking Dusclops and Scarf Lele and all these things. Not exactly an easy time for Dragonite to just set up and win. Meowscarada, I mean, Corviknight just kind of walls the piss out of that as well. Zam is good offensively. It's just like, it's got a lot of work to do to be able to break through all of this. And then, yeah, I mean, Great Tusk, depending on the set, could be really strong. But again, it needs a lot of free turns. If it's like that, spin bulk up one, it needs a lot of free turns. It needs a lot of things to go its way to be able to break that, break through late game or clean or whatever the hell. 1 second. Yeah, so I don't know, from like a pure matchup analysis standpoint, I think Lucas has the upper hand. I don't think it's unwinnable, but I just think it's a tough match. So let's start. Okay, so lead Meow into past Entei. He Burning Bulwarks on U-turn. Good call. So now this thing is going to be burned. I mean, it doesn't matter too much for the flower trick because it always crits. Actually, no, I think it still matters. But yeah. SC Dragon Claws into Tusk, which is Helmet, which is a good option into that. He goes Corvi up on the Earthquake, and then probably just a slow U-turn out. Oh, he Brave Birds. Okay. Okay, he Brave Birds. So that gives Dylan a little bit of momentum on the Volt Switch. Okay. And then probably just a knockoff incoming from the Meow. It's... Oh, okay, T-Spike. T-Spike, Meow. It's going to force the Corviknight to defog as he goes into Rotom. I might put this on, like, fast. I feel like this is going to be, like, a little slow. Rotom Wisps into this, which isn't going to be the biggest deal for this Pokemon because it has Seismic Toss. Unaffected by burn, it's just HP based. Finally knocks the helmet on the Corviknight, which is good for the Dragonite later. It's also good for Tusk, things like that. Okay, goes Zam into Hidden Power, what? Electric? Fire, maybe? Okay, U-turns out. Keeping that Corviknight low. Keeping that Corviknight low is a big deal if you're going to try and win later with D-Knight. Also, breaking a potential Sash or getting this within range is big, while also maintaining multi-scale. So, Dylan... Okay, hold on. So, HP fires or electrics or something. We don't know which hidden power it is. Probably fire. Okay, and this isn't Mammo. This is Zoroark. So in comes Tinkaton on the Lele. Does it 30%? Not a resist. Okay, good. This was a really good double on Dylan's part because, like I said, keeping up the momentum and making sure Corviknight doesn't have an opportunity to roost is a big deal. So good on Dylan to recognize that. He lets the Tink take a big hit. That's also a big deal. So now Scarf Lele is going to go very, very crazy. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's not like you have a lot to switch in, but... I don't know. Maybe going Rotom would have been better in hindsight. He obviously expected Dark Pulse, which makes sense, but... Yeah, that sucks. So now he's switching in, trying to get the leftovers back up. Does he double again? No, he rocks. That's big. Thunder Wave is like whatever. This thing roosted is a problem. Yeah, this thing being at 100 is a problem. I mean, it's good that you're getting the leftovers, but there goes your, you know, one of your conditions for Dragonite. And then there now Lele's opened up. This is really bad. And this isn't, like, this isn't fodder. +1 DD isn't gonna... Okay, but Dylan makes a good play there. He calls the Burning Bulwark. I'm not sure, from Lucas's point of view, I think that might have been a little bit of a misplay, because I think if you were gonna hit this, it would probably be with Earthquake. Or at least it was an option. I mean, he doesn't know the set. But allowing this thing to get scale back and like using this as fodder, I think Dragon Claw was probably just the best play in general. Fafnir. I think Fafnir is the Japanese name for Dragonite, by the way. Okay, he switches out on Ice Shard. And see, that's what I'm talking about. That was always going to be a problem for Dragonite. And it does have Freeze Dry. Yeah, so that's... Yeah. It's a really, really tough one for Dylan. Because even if he had scale and was able to eat the Ice Shard and kill back the Mammo or whatever, right? You still have to deal with Corviknight. But it's not IDEF, so maybe it could have broken through. But also it probably could have... I don't know if it could pressure stall or not. It might be able to. But yeah, what am I talking about? Pressure stall. You just U-turn, break the thing, and then go Scarf Lele. Yeah, this was always going to be, like, tough. Okay, he lets that go down. Brings in Mammo. Oh, yeah. It's the Zerog. Sub-4 is funny. And then he just Ice Shards twice and wins. He could Freeze Dry instead of Ice Shard. Okay. Yeah. Good shit to Lucas. Well played game. Tough matchup for Dylan for sure. But yeah, moving on. I have to actually search for the next one manually because my computer is a huge piece of shit. If I have too many tabs open, it will crash and blue screen and tell me to go fuck myself. So let me just, you know what I'll do while this is loading is I'll look up what I have written down. I have Richard and Ross written down, Dylan and Lucas, and CJ and Anders. So I guess I'll look for Richard and Ross. That was a big one. I actually helped Richard prep for that game, and I believe he did win it. It's just the problem was the spot he was in, he needed to win it by more, and I think there was some hacks involved in that game. It was a differential thing. It came down to differential. I'm very surprised Richard didn't make playoffs, but also not surprised because his division was insane. So it's like any of those players, you would normally say like, oh, I'm surprised X person didn't make it, but then when you put all those good people in the same spot, like, it's not really that much of a surprise, really. So let's see. You've got Alola Mola, Tapu Koko, Iron Valiant, Charizard, Mega Y, Gudra H, and Flygon versus Baxcalibur, Fezandipity, Sandy Shocks, Tornadus Therian, or, yeah, Therian. What's this asshole called? Bronzong, and Incineroar. Okay, so switching into Charizard Y is the problem, the biggest problem, I'd say, for Ross. I mean, he has Incin, but this thing gets coverage and it's faster. So getting rocks up to punish that is pretty big from Ross's perspective. This doesn't look like a team that is gonna outlast the breaking power of Richard's team, to be honest. So in terms of winning it from an offensive standpoint, taking advantage of things like Aloe being slow and getting a free turn with backs and maybe subbing up and DDing, I think that was like the biggest way I was giving Richard trouble during prep, was finding free turns with backs, setting up and just going ham. But then outside of that, I just making a bunch of predictions. I had to play like super aggressive to get any kind of like upper hand, because I just felt like whenever you're running fat, unless you have like Blissey or Chansey or something, Charizard Y is always going to be a piece of shit. So just kind of like not a team that I would like to have versus that Pokemon in particular. So let's see. Yeah, he leads Flygon into Sandy Shocks and Dragon Closet to break the balloon, which is nice. This Flygon is Defog. I think we ran double Defog during prep. I don't remember. I think that might be Banded Fez. I'm pretty sure, because that's a lot of damage. I didn't calculate, but that looks banded to me. He Wish passes into the Gudra on the Bronzong. Double Stealth Rock. I like that because he recognizes, because Ross isn't stupid. Like, he recognizes that the Charizard Y is a mega threat and will break his team down over time. Like, it just will do that. So having multiple Pokemon with the ability to get rocks up, I you know, in this case is warranted. If that's banded, I think hard Gudra would have been fine. But this makes sense too, as it pressures out Fez, but also allows for a defog. Goes Zard, which makes sense. See, now he's gonna start killing shit. Akaberry Explosion, maybe? Or Power Gem? Okay. Yeah, it's smart to run that, but if it doesn't Oko, he's able to just roost off, which is what happens. Into another Weather Ball on the Ensign, which is specially defensive. Weather Balls again. Oh, wow. That crit definitely mattered. That's huge. That's like... yeah, that's insane, because that Charizard, like I said, just broke down the entire team. But okay. So they trade fire types. In comes Fez to, what, player off or Gunk? Alright, player off. Yeah. Into Mola. That's not going to be able to take 2 from this. Oh, but he misses. So there was hacks on both sides. He flip turns on the Sandy Shocks. Has to go into like Coco or Valiant. Oh no, or this, yeah. Spikes up. Okay, Dragon Dance, Defog, Flygon. He Dragon Dances twice. He's going all in on the hazards, which is... okay, Richard, he didn't opt to defog. He opted to DD again, which I think makes sense because he needs plus... yeah, he wouldn't have killed Bronzong if not. But that, I think he was telling me that was like a min roll. He brings Ice Shard, yeah. Yeah, that min roll on Bronzong mattered because the Yachi Berry at full lives the Ice Shard, he was telling me. So the differential game definitely was a pain for Richard. The hacks wasn't one-sided though. I mean, he missed, I think, 2 player offs, so it just is what it is. Like, this game sucks sometimes. Oh, weakness policy into... oh. Oh yeah, he just gets the terrain up and then he's faster. I think that was a 50-50. Because, like, if Ross called the switch into Coco and DD'd again, I think he won. Yeah, but then again, he probably just assumed Ice Shard would clean this. So, yeah, very good game, very close game. With 2 good players. Fighting like hell to make playoffs. And then, yeah, you see there, like, normally he'd probably just not even care, but he's trying to preserve as much differential as possible, switches into Mola to flip turnout. Yeah, good game, like, well played on both sides. Unfortunate hacks on both sides. Came down to differential. Richard just barely missed out on playoffs. So, what's the next one I have written down? I got Dylan and Lucas, I got Richard and Ross. CJ versus James. So CJ is on guard. Okay. So let me switch sides here. Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So James. Oh, I remember what I actually helped James a little bit with the matchup. But yeah, this was a super unfortunate one. You'll see why. I would say James would have been the underdog going into this. I think most people probably agree with that. CJ is a very good player. It's not to say James isn't, but I think CJ is a little bit more consistent. However, you know what? I'm just gonna dive into this. So he goes Among Us. We made it Psy resist. So that the reason it was for the Hatterene, And we also made it faster than, like, I forget how many EVs we gave it, but we made sure that it would outspeed, like, a minimally invested hat. This play here... Sorry, hold on. Skip turn. He goes Reverum. He goes hard Chi after sporing, which I like. Very aggressive. Didn't click fire move probably because of potential flash fire. Goes Thunderous. Takes a big hit on the Finny. Okay, so this is SD Rillaboom because it's the defense berry. And then he hard switches into Thund expecting maybe Skarm. No, I don't think he misplayed. CJ, I don't think you misplayed. I think he just made an aggressive play. I think he was trying to get Skarm. Okay, so Stomping Tantrum there, predicting Heatran. Again, like, they both made an aggressive play that didn't pay off, but neither one, I wouldn't call either one a misplay. Both plays made sense, you know? Oh, but information is revealed. This is Balloon Heatran. This is a Magma, because, you know, it's Magma, and it does that. HP Ice on Heatran. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially it being on a balloon. It was built specifically to counter this Garchomp, which is tough for James, because Garchomp's a good-ass Pokemon to have in this matchup. It's good into this, it's good into Reverum, it's good into, you know... This probably has HP Ice on it as well, though. Thunderous. Oh, but it's not Boots. Okay. Okay. So he goes Skarm on the Reverum, and he clicks Counter, which is what... Yeah. Yeah. I told him to expect Temper Flare. And that did work out. So now I would say James has a little bit of the upper hand here. Actually, very much the upper hand at this point. However, this is what I meant by it's unfortunate. You're going to see here in a second. So this thing SDs, right? Oh no, it Trailblazes first. Okay, Trailblazes. And then it Acros. Right, okay, so that turn 21, that was really, really bad. If James just clicked Sludge Bomb, Zamazenta won. I'm pretty sure, because it's at full, and his isn't. So yeah. And he had Chi-Yu, he had, like, all the material lead in the world, too. Not even just Zama, but, yeah. All he had to do was click Sludge Bomb on turn 21, and this was a wrap. And that would have been a huge upset. But now, with this getting hit by Acro, James is forced out. CJ knows he's not going to want to lose Amoonguss. Anti-SDs. I think, honestly, I think he should have just attacked again. I think he should have Sludge Bombed on both turn 21 and turn 22 for that reason, because now this Rillaboom literally just wins. Yeah, 2 turns in a row. Because let's say he Acros. Okay, who gives a shit? You go Zama anyway, and neutral Acro is never killing a +1 defense Zama ever. But now, with this thing being at +2, now the game is like actually over. So that's tough. Yeah, dude. That's really tough. He had that. That was 2 turns of... I mean, you live and you learn, right? Like, we all fucking misplay sometimes. But that was a rough one, because that was the difference between him making playoffs and him not making playoffs. So yeah. He has Sci-Fangs too for the moon. I mean, actually, I don't know why he didn't Sludge Bomb there either, but I think he was predicting it was always going to come down to a Magma Storm miss. Because CJ never has to switch, you know? Like, I get it, trying to catch it on the switch, but I think you were always going to have to Sludge Bomb and then hope for a miss. But yeah, other than turn 21 and 22, it was a well-played game all around. Good prep on both sides. HP Ice Balloon was nice into Chomp. You know, counter Scarm. Papaya Berry, whatever the Cyrus Berry on Moon was good. Everything was really solid. So, okay. Now we're going to go into the wild card matches. Which again, I think... Wait, who played? Who's the wild card matches? Hold on. Oh, it was supposed to be CJ versus Anders and then CJ versus James. I fucked that up. That was a wild card game. Sorry, guys. This was week 11, and this also had playoff implications for the differential, which is why I picked it. But yeah, we're gonna see CJ twice in a row. I'm just gonna dive into it. Okay, so let's Scarf Mouse to be able to be faster than Weave. He turns out into Zama, doubles into Heatran, expecting Vile Plume, and taunts. Okay, gets a Toxic off on Vaporeon, which is nice. Vaporeon flip turns out to get some pressure, probably gonna go Ursaluna. He does. Is he gonna hard switch into... He's not gonna hard switch at all. He's gonna Protect. That Protect allows him to Calm Mind up once. And then Taunt again. So he loses Heatran. Goes Thunderous to click Grass Knot, which does a lot, but he's gonna die in exchange for getting that chip. So it's gonna be a little bit of a 2-for-1 situation. He actually hard switches out. Gets a little boost on his Rage Fist. And now CJ's going all in on the Reverum. I think this thing gets, oh, he just Gug Shots, okay. That miss was pretty unfortunate. He tries to shift gear up again as the Vaporeon flip turns out. He goes into Ursaluna. And he Z Psychics. Okay, that's probably for this and this. Zen Headbutt kills Vaporeon. He hits it with a Gunk. Temper Flare. Ooh, Strength Sap. Look at this Vile Plume. Stop. He should have done this many Pokemon ago. But whatever. Yeah, I think he's just kind of using this hat as a pivot, really. Oh, it actually ends up 1v1ing. Cool, okay. Weave can't Swords Dance. Wait, what? Well, I guess this was always going to be faster anyways. But still. He doesn't switch in Togekiss, probably because Heavy Slam exists. Sub-Zama. Okay. Saving that for the diff. Hits this thing with a Gunk and kills it from neutral. Okay. Nice. Nice. This is funny. Sometimes it'd be like that. Okay, so what was the other game? I think it was Ben versus Kenny. Master hand. Was this match not public? That's annoying. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the link for it. Fishman underscore 42. I can look that up too. Fishman underscore 42. How is this not public? I hate you guys so much. Alright, yeah, let me see if I can... My computer's probably gonna spaz out. But let me see if I can pull this replay in between my chat with Jared. If not, I'm just gonna wrap it up. And just spoil the the ending of that match. Because I don't feel like fighting with this computer for another hour. Yeah, this is what I deal with to give you guys content, by the way. I've had this computer for like 8 years. Let's see. Okay. Kenny versus Ben. Okay. Cool, we got it. So, sound off. We've got hail versus rain. Obviously huge matchup advantage for Kenny in terms of weather war, right? Because freeze dry just goes absolutely crazy into Pelipper and Lilligant, and it hits this too super effectively, and it's neutral on this, and it posts Mega Evolve, takes 1 million from that, and it's neutral here. So freeze dry is just like insane into him. Other than that, like if I was Ben, how would I try to win this? Probably deny screens as best as I can, and then look for an opportunity to set up Lilligant, I guess. Or Pinzer. Yeah. So let's just see how this goes. He leads licks. They exchange. Oh, they don't exchange rocks. He tries to Toxic Ligar, which obviously doesn't work. Goes Pelipper on the EQ, and then gets popped by the coverage move. Okay, so threatens this thing out with a triple axle. Goes hard Ninetales, expecting that. Nice little defense boost in the snow, not hail. Doesn't go for Veil. He goes for a Blizzard instead. Which is fair, like we established earlier. Ice is just like really strong into him. So tries to get Blizzard chip, which I get, but turns out to be Scarf Archaludon. Doubles into Cure. So I think he was trying to maybe bait out the Lilligant or the Pinzer or something. But I guess Ben just didn't care if he took the EQ damage, and he stayed in. So, yeah. He gets hit by a Flash Cannon. Either that or he called the double. I think he just probably didn't care about the chip. Like, obviously, you know, this thing isn't going to kill this, so. But yeah, now Kenny yawns to force it out. He just spams yawn a little bit, which is good because he does have rocks up. He's getting small bits of residual chip and being annoying. He knows this is Scarf, so he can just kind of either yawn or flip turn or whatever the hell he wants to do. He yawns again. And this is really like it's really good for him because it doesn't allow for setup either. +1 body press doing a decent chunk. Psych up on the Jirachi and then doubles into Dragapult, expecting another body press, which he does click. Knows he's forced to switch. Probably just click Shadow Ball, because obviously, why wouldn't you? Not Specs damage. Specs would have killed for sure. So at that point, it's not confirmed that he's Scarf, but it's kind of confirmed that he's Scarf. He yawns the Pinzer, which I think is great, because now he gets to go into whatever he wants. I don't know if... I think this is fine, actually. Clicks Thunderbolt into... what? Wish on the Draco. So Jirachi's going to be healthy again. Pinzer takes 1,000,000. Lives the Aura Sphere, because, yeah, resisted hit. Doesn't wake up, gets clapped. And then this is the part where it's like, okay, unless this Dragapult is in fact Scarf, I think Ben won this game. Because he gets to Victory Dance, and at this point, this is faster than this, and CC definitely... Oh, it's not CC, it's Brick Break, but it kills anyway, so whatever. And Triple Axle kills this and this if they hit. But it was Scarf, so he was able to outspeed the +1 speed Lilligant. And yeah, shebang. Kenny's in playoffs. Very close game. The person who I thought was going to win this did win this, but not how I expected them to. So, yeah, very cool. Bring a Prime pull up yawning around. Very, yeah, interesting match for sure. I was going to do the playoff, like the lineup and whatever, but I don't know if my computer's going to let me do that. Let me see. Just need to make it. So Jared was saying I just need to make note of the video for everyone. He sent me this link. I think this is the playoff doc. I don't know if it's like, I haven't looked at this yet. But if I'm able to see this, I'll give my thoughts. Okay. So JoJo versus CJ. Oh yeah, the logos are wrong. Just ignore the logos. But yeah, JoJo versus CJ. That's a really interesting one. Not necessarily because of the matchup, but just because they are roommates. So that sucks for them. David versus Zeb. That also sucks. Both of them are PKS. Steven versus Adam. I don't know which Steven this is, but I think they already played. Chris versus Avdo. That'll be a good one. Nick versus, that's me, versus Kenny, who we just saw battle. Jaden versus Zach. Jared versus Lucas. That's going to be a banger. Stephen K versus Dylan. Is it going to let me look at the teams? Conference standings. I don't know if it has all that built into it yet. I would like to see that if I can. Oh, this is for last season, right? Yeah, this hasn't been updated because I didn't finish first this season. I finished second because JoJo's a bitch. Just kidding. Yeah, this isn't updated. Okay, so I can't. Wait, I'm not gonna do all that. I'm not gonna do all that. But yeah, I'm excited for the playoff matches. Have a good one.